Hey everyone, welcome to the Mind of Ro page. So for the last few weeks, I have been making some videos on how to work with the Neteru and the Orishas to help balance our energy centers, as in our chakras. So today I'm going to speak on how to ask the Neteru, as in the ancient Egyptian gods or the Kemetic gods, to help balance our solar plexus. So our solar plex is associated with the color yellow. It is where our willpower comes from, and our confidence and our ability to manifest our goals. And it's associated with the element fire. So the reason why I have this filter on my video right now is because the Neteru specifically asked me to put this filter on to respect their personal altars that I made for them. So that's why it's a little hard to see, but I thought the filter was kind of cool. So what you're looking at is Sekhmet's altar right now, and to the left you see a cat skull. That's actually a bobcat that I got. Where did I get it? I can't remember where I got it. Oh, I got it at a spiritual shop that I am personally going to try to, or I am going to add some energy to it, so it has the energy of Sekhmet on that skull for her altar. So who is Sekhmet? I'm sure a lot of people who's following me should know the name Sekhmet. It's a pretty popular name. Sekhmet is the Neter, or the goddess of the sun, war, destruction, plagues, and healing. And she is one of the most powerful goddesses there is. She's associated with the color red. And foods that she likes being offered to her is beer, spicy dark liquor, peppers, and you could also give her water, so when you do make offers to her and do work with her, to make sure she doesn't burn you or burn your home. She is typically depicted as a lioness, so with a woman body and a head of a lioness. So I'm sure I just listed a lot of scary traits that she has. So why would you want to call on Sekhmet? Because she is the most powerful goddess, she will give you power as well. And the reason why you would like to work with Sekhmet is to help give you power and a lot of confidence and willpower. So personally, I made her some offers today because I would like to have a lot more willpower and drive. So I would start my business, run my business with complete confidence and energy and a lot of willpower, and that's why I'm personally doing a offer to her today. And that is a good reason why anybody would give an offer to her. She's also a healer. So if you feel like you have things that are holding you back and keeping you from being a very powerful person, Sekhmet is a being you would like to ask for healing in that nature, because the reason why we don't feel powerful, the reason why there's a lot of things that are holding us back, is because there's aspects within ourselves that needs to be healed. And she is considered a healer, and this is why you would want to contact Sekhmet to help heal you from whatever ailments or issues that you're having within yourself that you need to have released from you, so you can have that willpower and confident energy within yourself. So my personal experience with Sekhmet, ever since I really started getting in touch with myself, I had some kind of connection with Sekhmet, but for the longest time I didn't meet her. I actually finally got to personally meet her. I personally summoned her and got to feel her energy probably a few months ago, and I have to say she is so fierce. And I've spoken to somebody who's spoken to her before, and he was like, I feel like you have a lot more head to root energy, but I do feel like your Sekhmet is kind of like peeking out now and then. She's so fierce. But I understand now, because when I met head to root and I met Sekhmet separately, I realized I do have a lot of head to root energy, and my Sekhmet energy does pop out now and then. So the type of energy that I feel from her when I call her down, I'm not the only one. I've spoken to other people who's met her as well, who summoned her. Her energy feels very, very powerful, very powerful. There's a lot of beings that I talk to. There's a lot of beings, I'm sure you may have heard me message online about specific Orishas and Loa spirits and Gede and Neteru. Her energy is so powerful. I'm going to just give you an example. Let's just say, don't do this. I'm just saying this as an example for something so you could have an idea what her energy is like. If you were to send Sekhmet after somebody, for example, I'm not saying to do it, just so you have an idea what I mean, what her energy is like. If you were to send her after one person, she's the type of person who will not just hurt somebody or kill somebody or burn one person down. If you summon her energy to hurt anybody or anything, she will burn the whole state down. That's what I mean by her energy. So this is a good warning to you if you do want to summon her and if you do want to work with her. She is not somebody to play with because she is not a little being. She's very ascended, therefore her energy is very, very universally large and very big. She actually is one of the aspects of solar flares from the sun. So I don't know if you know this, but if you get a solar flare from the sun, it tends to make a lot of people act kind of a type of way on the planet because of that solar flare and make us feel a type of way because that solar flare from the sun is so powerful, and that's actually something that represents Sekhmet's energy, just so you could have an idea of how powerful her energy is. So when I've summoned her, she gave me some info. I can't give too much info on what she taught me because I feel like this is kind of secret knowledge, but she likes to be fed through fire. I'm just going to keep it very vague on what she likes. So usually if you want some offers given to her, she likes offers being thrown into fires for her because she does represent fire. So just to know that. And she taught me she will teach you about a lot of occult knowledge if you were to summon her or meditate on her and talk to her. She would teach you a lot of very, very powerful things and how to heal certain aspects, not only within yourself, but how to heal aspects and other people as well. And honestly, I'm really excited to work with her in the future because my personal plans is that because she's been teaching me so much, that in the future, whenever I end up getting a home and I have a yard, I would like to have a fire pit and then have an event to where people are throwing their problems into the fire. And there will be a lot more aspects to it other than just a fire. I cannot say now because this is very private info, but I am planning. I would love to have this event of what she taught me so I can help heal people and throw their issues into the fire, and she will help heal those elements within people. That's my personal experience with her. And here's some information on how you know she's around because the lion does represent her. Something I noticed today, I was picking up a bunch of offers for her today. I was running around town and picking up some offers from the stores, and I noticed somebody wearing a backpack at one of the stores that I found some of her stuff that I needed for her altar today, and I was running around all day trying to find things, and I was like, dang it, I can't find what I need for her, and I was getting so frustrated. But as soon as I seen somebody wearing a backpack with a lion on it, when I went to the store, boom, guess what? Anything that I needed for her was in that store. So those are like little signs you know she's around. If you're feeling very, very fierce and aggressive and powerful and have this urge to kind of fight for what's right, that is Sekhmet's energy, and that's how you know she's around. If you feel that energy and you tend to see a lot of lion kind of pictures and also maybe fire, maybe you might walk by some posters with flames on it, or maybe you walk by somebody wearing a shirt with flames on it, or you might see a fire or a lot of candles mixed up with the images of lions, then that's how you know Sekhmet's around you, and that's how you know that she's either knowing that you're communicating with her or she wants your attention. So here are just some warnings about Sekhmet. She is a goddess, and because I know when I say goddess, a lot of people think feminine energy. Yes, she has a lot of feminine energy because she's considered a loving and she can be forgiving healer, but she's very, very temperamental. And this is why if you read about the Ancient Kemetic stories, she actually ends up turning into Heteru, where she's a lot more healing and forgiving. But as her version of Sekhmet, she's a little, now I'm going to say not a little, she's very, very temperamental. So please be very mindful if you work with Sekhmet. If you are not familiar with working with her or giving offers to her, please feel free to message me and ask me some questions. And like I say in all my other videos, if you want to make any offers to any of the Neteru or Orishas or lower spirits or Gede, be sure to divine on it first and only offer them offers that they specifically want, because she is very temperamental and because she is associated with plagues, destruction, and war and sickness. If you do not do things right, she can make you very, very sick. And she has been known to kill people. And I'm not trying to scare you away from Sekhmet, but just be very mindful that she could be very dangerous to work with. She is not a very lightful spirit. She is a lightful spirit, but she's temperamental. So she's not a demon or anything like that. Please do not demonize her. She is here for us to help bring strength and bring power within herself, not only within us, but also within the universe itself. She helps create the universe with this power and with this energy. So she is very much needed, like any other Neteru or any other goddess that exists. Just know that if you were to work with her, please tread very lightly. And I know when you look up some images or info on goddesses, she falls into the category of goddesses. So we think, well, she's a goddess and she's going to be nice and blah, 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 blah. She could be very temperamental. I love her very much. This is why you need to just make sure you divine on it first and you ask questions. So when you do give Sekhmet offers, this is something that I realize, is if you ask her for something, she's very, very picky about what she wants and how she wants it. That means if she asks for peppers, you need to ask her how many peppers does she want, what kind of peppers does she want, and how does she want it served. Very, very detailed. If she wants beer, ask her how much beer does she want, how does she want it served. So be sure, if you were to serve her, make sure you treat her like the goddess that she is. She deserves to be treated that way. Therefore, you should treat her that way. If she asks for any food, make sure you find out how she wants it served and how much. Every detail matters with Sekhmet versus like some other deities. It's not too much, but with her, be sure that you serve her the way she wants. It's kind of like going to a fancy 5-star restaurant. And when you go to a 5-star restaurant and you ask for something, you better make sure that these people are feeding you the way you ask them to, because you're paying them. That's how she feels about her offers. Just be sure that you're very, very particular about how you give them, how the amount and what you are asking for and why. So that's my information on Sekhmet. I told these deities before I started the video that I would keep some of the stuff very vague to respect them and respect their space. If you want any more information on Sekhmet, please be sure to try to meet up with me personally or message me, and I will give you more private information. Not all of it, but some, depending on what you're asking of me. So moving on, my next Neteru I'm going to mention is Hirokuti. His name is not as popular as Sekhmet. So I know it's kind of hard to see what's laying on this plate in front of you. I happen to have some brass knuckles and a knife, and I have a candle in front of you because he is associated with the element metal or iron. Hirokuti is the enforcer of the laws of Ma'at. He is the dispenser of divine justice. The laws of Hirokuti is: know that God neither punishes nor rewards nor protects, that you will have the comfort for controlling these for yourself. Basically, what that is saying is, a lot of times we ask protection for us, and we tend to want to send spirits after others. When this, or the common saying, karma will get you. I'm sure you've heard this. Everybody says it. A lot of people don't know this, but that saying, to say karma will get you, is actually a saying of voodooists. And the reason why it is because karma is controlled by deities. Therefore, Hirokuti can be associated with one of those deities. There's many of them, obviously, an infinity amount of them. But that's basically what that means, is when we have karma and dharma, we need to understand that we are in control of that karma and dharma. That God does not punish us or reward us. We are actually doing it to ourselves, and that is our personal soul contract, and we need to take accountability for that. And that's also with everybody that we associate ourselves with as well. And the reason why this is one of his laws is because he and is the enforcer of the laws of Ma'at. I made another video on Ma'at. I will tag this video with her video so you can have a little more information on who Ma'at is. She is the goddess of balance, of peace and justice. Basically, it's the laws of bringing balance to the universe, the laws of bringing balance within ourselves. And Hirokuti is the being that helps bring balance. As in, if you are being a bad person, you will be punished for it. If you are being a good person, you will be rewarded for it. But it's not by it. They control this energy, but it's because you have a soul contract with these energies, and we're not even mindful of it. These are the laws of Hirokuti. So Hirokuti is associated with the colors red and black. His favorite foods are palm oil, rum, cigars. And like I said earlier, his element is associated with metal and iron. So when I say foods on my videos, it's the foods that they like to be offered to him. So like I say a lot, if you want to give Hirokuti any offers, make sure you only give the offers that I just listed just now, which is palm oil, rum, cigars. He's also a very hot spirit as well, so just be mindful of that. If adversity which cannot be avoided is not the cause of suffering that follows our failure to reclaim our original nature, peace, then we must make spiritual growth, which is our highest priority. If we are one, then I must refrain from doing you wrong to avoid doing me wrong. This is the key to justice and protection from others. This is the concept of Hirokuti. I love this saying, and it's by Life Jennings. It's do good things and good things will happen to you. And he is the enforcer of that, and this is who Hirokuti is. So he's associated or depicted as a bird. So I'm going to explain the difference between Hirokuti, Ra, and Horus, who is actually known as Heru. This is Horus's original name in Africa is actually Heru. So I'm going to say, for now, I'm going to associate Horus as Heru. So when I say Heru, know that I mean Horus, okay? So the difference between Hirokuti, Ra, and Heru, when you see images of them, because all three of them are associated as a falcon head. So Hirokuti is depicted with a falcon head, but on top of the falcon head, he actually has ram horns. And on each side of his ram horns, he has snakes. And on top of his horns, it kind of looks like he has vases on his head. I'm not sure exactly what they are. I have to look a little more information on it. But it looks like they're kind of vases on his head, and that's who Hirokuti is. I noticed a lot of people will make a lot of posts or make a lot of memes and state the wrong Neteru's name with the image image. So just so you know, the difference between Hirokuti and Heru is Ra is Hirokuti always has the ram head, the ram horns with snakes and vases, or they look like vases. Heru always has a crown on his head, which is like a red and white crown, while Ra always has a sun on his head, like a red sun or a red circle or a sun disc, not a disc, but a red sun on his head. So let me repeat really quick so you can remember, help you remember this. I heard if you repeat things 3 times, it helps people remember. So Hirokuti, remember, has what they look like vases on his head, ram horns, and 2 snakes on each end. Heru, or in other words, Horus, has a crown, which is a red and white crown, while Ra has a red sun on his head. So the next time you see these images, know there's a difference between these 3 beings. So right now we're talking about Hirokuti. So Hirokuti is the enforcer of the laws of Ma'at. He works very, very close next to Ma'at, just like Anpu, or in other words, Anubis as well. So why would you call in Hirokuti? The number one reason why majority of people call in Hirokuti is for protection. If you are familiar with the Orishas, he has a lot of energy like Ogun. So if you know who Ogun is, then you'll know who Hirokuti is. Hirokuti is known to protect us. He is a warrior spirit, and he protects us from people who wish injustice acts upon us. I don't like to use the word enemy, but we do have enemies, and enemies are the type of people who want to block our happiness, block our peace, and kind of get in the way of our higher spiritual path. And Hirokuti is the being that helps keep those people away from us. And like I said before, remember that these people have this soul agreement with the spiritual realm for you to be able to ask protection from Hirokuti, because they have some kind of guilt or subconscious knowledge of knowing that they are doing things wrong. Therefore, they will accept that agreement for you to be protected by Hirokuti, because you cannot lie to the universe, you cannot lie to the Neteru, you cannot lie to the Orishas, you cannot lie to the Loa. Therefore, Hirokuti is majority of the time summoned for protection. He is also a great being to speak to and summon, because you need a lot of confidence. If you're going through a specific situation, you feel like somebody specific is walking on you, and you don't have the confidence or the will to want to step up to them, and you're kind of wondering, like, why am I not standing up for myself? Why is this person getting away with whatever they're doing to me? Hirokuti is the being you would like to summon to help you have the confidence within yourself to be able to push them back, say what you need to say, and fight for what you feel is right, and without feeling any guilt for it. And this is the reason why you would like to summon or call on Hirokuti. My personal experience with Hirokuti is every time I meditate on Hirokuti, or every time I feel like he's calling on me, because sometimes the Neteru will call on us as well, even if we're not calling on them, and with the specific signs that I will state here in a minute on how you know he's calling on you. When I meditate on Hirokuti, he'll make me be very mindful of injustice acts that were pointed at me that I haven't got any justice out of yet. And a lot of times this happens in our life, and then we end up living our whole life feeling angry and bitter inside for what somebody has done to us. And then we're like, well, we got to forgive and forget, forgive and forget, forgive and forget. But there are some acts that people do that they do need to pay. And there's a difference between revenge and a difference between justice, and we need to understand that. Revenge is when it's not serving us and we're going way too far. We're going past that line of balance. Justice is when we're trying to get that balance back within ourselves. A lot of times when we get done dirty, people tend to give us energy that does not serve us, and then we give them energy that did serve us at one time, and then we end up doing this energy swap that they take from us and they give to us what does not serve us. And that is not balance. That is not the laws of Ma'at. And we need to understand that it is okay for us to find that balance within ourselves. And this is what Hirokuti teaches us. He teaches us that we have a right to ask back the energy that was taken from us. And that's what Hirokuti is here to do. He helps bring justice to our life so we could be those free souls that we yearn to be. We are human, therefore we've been through a lot of crap living on this planet, within this body, within this world. This is this realm, and we have lessons to learn. And one of the biggest lessons we need to learn is the balance of justice and peace. And sometimes you cannot get peace unless you have some type of justice in some specific big moments we've had in our life. And for some reason, the New Age movement has been teaching us against that, and teaching us that we just have to be completely numb to reality. And I personally, I don't feel like that's realistic. I don't make the laws, Ma'at does. So I'm not going to say what I say is law, but I will say according to Ma'at, according to the laws of Ma'at, justice and peace is what is considered balance. And sometimes to find peace within ourselves, we do need to have justice done. And this is what Hirokuti is for. So some warnings about Hirokuti. Because he is associated with metal and iron, please know he is a very, very hot spirit. And just as hot as Sekhmet. So because he's associated with iron, if you do not serve him correctly, and if you make him angry, he has been known to kill people, and he has been known to cause even deadly car accidents, stab wounds, and shootings, because those are made of metal and iron. So please be mindful that Hirokuti is a warrior spirit. He is here to protect us from those who want to hurt us. But if we are not doing right ourselves, I don't care how much food and how many offers you give Hirokuti, if you are not being a good person yourself, he will come hurt you. So please be mindful of that, of Sekhmet and Hirokuti. They are hot spirits. Do not play with them. They can be unforgiving sometimes. But if you are a loyal practitioner and you are faithful to the laws of Ma'at, they will be faithful and loyal to you. So that being said, if you want any more information on Hirokuti, please shoot me a message or meet up with me. If it's super, super duper personal, because there are some things I do not like to share online. And if there's any videos you would like me to share in regards to any other Neteru or Orishas, let me know and I will. Tomorrow I'm going to do another video on Ma'at and a video on Aset, who is also known as Isis, to help heal our heart centers. So please tune in tomorrow on that video. And before you make any offers to any of these Neterus, please be sure to make offers to Anpu and Sobek to help open those doorways, to help make sure that whatever offers that you're giving in, whatever request you are asking, ends up being answered or ends up being received by them. And the best way to make sure they're getting what you want to offer and you are getting what you are asking for is to make sure those doors open. So the best way to open those doors is to speak to doorkeepers, who is Sobek and Anpu, and I will share a link with this video so you can have an idea of how to do that if you want this work to work much better and more powerful for you. Don't forget to serve Anpu and Sobek first to have those doors opened for you. So that being said, I hope everybody is having a very safe and protected night, especially with all this crap going on with the COVID and the violence and everything. This is actually a very good time to find that willpower within yourself and to find protection from everything that's happening right now. This is a great time to work with these deities to protect you from a lot of the toxicity that's happening. So please know that you are not alone and you do not have to go through the struggle on this planet. Hirokuti and Sekhmet and many, many more deities are out there for you to help protect you from this energy and help heal you so you can ascend beyond it. So I hope everybody has a safe night, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is @MindofRo, and share this video. Find me on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. Hotep.